Everybody in the building. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Because somewhere around the world, it's that time. And I guess when you do reach a global platform, you do get to say shit like that. Welcome to the show. You know what time it is.
To protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You understand?
Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. You know, we got some news we got to critique. I'm trying to make sure that Brandon has time to get in and put his bags down so we can get Brandon Tatum on the line today. We expect to have him on the show. And we expect to have Kaya too. Trying to make everything work. So if you see me going in and out of the phone to check on everything, don't think I'm being rude. Before we get into that, though, you know we got to get into this. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my off.
Shout out to everybody in the building. I want to thank you for being here tonight. You know, I'm not here to fuck around. You understand? I done gave you all the warnings in the fucking world I can give you. All right? Right now, off the rip.
Make it perfectly clear. Never mind what you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Stay a little while longer with me. Things will be better if you stay, please stay.
All right, so listen, y'all. We're going to get into it. All right? Because right now, we came here with the real. We came here with the raw. And we not playing. Let's critique some news. Before we even get into that, you know, I was just on YouTube, Instagram, was talking to the people, and I was live. There are some people that are concerned about Kavanaugh's appointment to the Supreme Court. I would have liked to have seen I would like to have seen appellate court judge Vinansky get the nod. Everyone has their pick. I've already said how I felt due to the fact that he was in Bush's White House. But I do not think that he was an intricate planner and or is included in their New World Order Buddy Club. I don't think that Kavanaugh achieved that height. I think that he was someone that they knew that they can go to manipulate and tell him stuff that they needed, but didn't tell him specifically what they were doing. Today, this bitch ass nigga Snoop Dogg doubles down with his disrespect. Here it is. You got a man, 50 years old. Let's look up this bitch ass nigga's birthday. Let's see how old this nigga is. Yo, right there, Snoop Dogg age. Let's see how old this nigga is. This nigga is 46 years old. Nigga's 46 years old. The nigga 50. Nigga damn near 50. Nigga damn near 50. And he wants to wear his pants off his ass still. He still wants to hang out with kids 18 and 19. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to hang out with young people, but it is when you want to teach them dumb shit. It is when you want to show them that you do not have to have morals to ascertain wealth. The thing is, not every dumbass gets picked up because they have musical talent and they're given a chance to get out of the ghetto. That's some shit that doesn't happen every day. That's why there aren't thousands of Snoop Dogs coming out of Compton. The thing is, these no good sellout niggas don't want you, if you're fucking poor, period, to reach any kind of level that they got. Because poor people are taught to hate other poor people that are special. If a poor person feels like somehow you have the ability to get out of the situation that they find themselves all in, you're definitely going to receive a lot of hate from people around you. The crab in the barrel theory, the mind state in which the Democrats have fucking produced their communities. He's a product of his environment. This bitch is no different from the 3 bitches that was on my show yesterday that I was talking about. This bitch here doesn't attack real niggas. Not no street niggas. This bitch here wants to attack real men. Kind-hearted and compassionate men. Why? Because this bitch was taught to self-destruct. That's why. Like the black bitch this bitch is, this black bitch is just another tool used by true white supremacists to keep down black people and any other poor motherfuckers that are trying to uplift black people. Or any other rich motherfuckers trying to uplift black people. The black bitch has no sex. The black bitch is either or. Just like a white bitch is. Just like an Indian bitch. Just like a Chinese bitch. A bitch, when in human form, is someone that despises themselves so much that they destroy everything around it like it. Only self-hatred can have you and lead you to want to destroy others like you instead of uplifting them. When you see a kid fall and cut himself, is your first response to run to the kid and ask them, "Are you okay?" Or is your first response to laugh? If an elderly person fell in front of you, is your first response to run to the person and ask them, "Are you okay?" Or are you going to pull your phone out and laugh? This is how you identify what kind of person you really are. Because human condition true human condition is to preserve human life and is to care about other humans. The only reason why wars have ever existed on this planet is because humans felt compelled to protect other humans. One human feeling like we need to take over this land because if we don't, we can be invaded by these humans. And other humans feeling like we need to protect our land because we are being invaded by these humans. Everybody has their own side, their own truth, and their own understanding. Yet it is still supposed to be the human condition to care about other humans. That's why in times of war, they would collect the enemies. They didn't just kill them outright on the field. Of course, some tribes did. We're well aware of that. But in true wars documented, you always hear, in most cases, the captured was then put into servitude. Or they joined the army that beat them. But people didn't just disregard human life. It didn't just happen that way. We find ourselves right now with a bunch of bitches of every fucking race, shape, and size telling you that the current human condition is not, you're not supposed to worry about someone that's fallen. When someone falls, if you feel they fell, you are supposed to pick them up. Someone may have not fallen in front of you. They could have just chose to sit down. You may just have it all wrong. But you wouldn't know because you are not even talking to the person. I hope you guys are catching me out here and fully understanding what it is that I'm trying to say. I just saw something that was so disturbing that I'm going to play it for you guys. Someone just sent something to me. And I want you guys to view it with me. Let me pull it up. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. Have some patience with me. Here it is. Let me type it in right now. Got it. I hope y'all ready.
A digitally interdependent, hyper-connected, networked world. Throw off the tethers of ordinary reality and join the digitized multitudes ruled by global e-governance. With your very own new world citizen of the People's Federated Republic of the Great Democratic United Global States Incorporated chip card.
Democratic. I told you on the show that a democratic government is one of dictatorship. We live in a republic. Look at the card. Look at the ID. Look at the card. Look at the ID. Listen, people.
Just one chip is now a key to every relevant database you are in on Earth. We're taking identification to a technocratic level beyond Aldous Huxley's wildest dreams and George Orwell's nightmares. One chip linked to your unique citizen number connects to all of your relevant societal business, including your passport, your driver's license, and all Federation-required licenses, titles, and registrations.
Do you see this shit? How fast this bitch is talking about turning everybody into fucking slaves? Didn't I tell you earlier the fate of the world rests on our fucking shoulders? Didn't I say that shit? Do you like the shit you wearing? The shit you have? The people you choose to have around you? The freedom to get the fuck up and go to the store when you want to? Because if you do not, what's going to happen is they're going to have you in this world chip. And when you talk against them, which you will hear, they're going to cut that shit off. They will stop you from existing.
Car, home, and medical insurance, all of your medical records, including your mandatory annual psychological evaluation, your DNA.
Your mandatory annual psychological evaluation. Your mandatory annual psychological evaluation.
Profile and a digitally interdependent hyper. And your prescriptions, your voter registration and history, and your bank account and digital universal basic income credits. But that's not all. Your blockchain-protected New World citizenship also gives you a digital footprint everywhere you go on the web, from online news sources to all of your social media accounts, authenticating you online to ensure a safe, peaceful, and secure society.
Authenticating you online so they can track you, find you, and kill you if they want to. So if you're online talking about them, they can cut you off and stop you. Are you not aware yet? Are you not up? Are you not woke?
Society where no one can offend anyone else because no one can hide.
But no one can offend anyone else because no one can hide.
Continuous real-time 24/7 tracking and tracing will ensure a truly peaceful digital utopia for all. No more fear of identity theft or forgetting those pesky passwords, as your digital citizen mark will be biometrically verified through your fingerprints, iris scan, EEG, voice print, and facial map. From Cairo to Rome to Ingolstadt to Paris, and your prescriptions, your voter to Washington to Estonia and Astana. From ocean to ocean to ocean to heck, all of the oceans. Being a digital resident offers you a new concept of freedom to be a global citizen under your borderless digital new world order.
May be incompatible with faith and the actual definition of freedom. Databases wholly owned and operated by the People's Federated Republic of the Great Democratic United World States, Incorporated, and their subsidiaries. Your digital citizenship is legally binding, and data may be shared with third parties listed in subsection 187-C.2 without your express knowledge or consent. These terms and conditions are subject to change at any time, which is fine because they are 8,642 pages long, and you know no one's reading fine print. Travel allowed only in pre-approved ship valid.
Do you see what these people trying to pull? Let's critique this shit, man.
They've gone crazy. You don't hand matches to an arsonist, and you don't give power to an angry left-wing mob.
President Trump was right, of course. The Democrats have embraced the politics of the mob. we've seen leftist mobs try to break through the doors of the Supreme Court. Good luck with that. Those doors weigh 13 tons. We've also seen protesters accosting senators and screaming at them.
Why aren't you brave enough to talk to us and exchange it with us? Don't you wave your hand at me.
Such pleasant folks. We've seen mobs try to drive Republican senators.
You see why they use women? You see why they use women? Because they use women because they know women can push up on you. And the moment you're like, get away from me, they're like, don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me.
At restaurants.
We believe survivors. They know it's way harder than you do.
And over the past few months, we've actually seen...
All you see is white people around Ted Cruz.
Democrats...
White guilt.
...openly encourage such tactics.
These members of his cabinet who remain and try to defend him, they're not going to be able to go to a restaurant. They're not going to be able to stop at a gas station. They're not...
Why is that cool? Why isn't this bitch arrested for the blatant threats to her peers and other Americans? This is inciting violence. She should be arrested.
Not going to be able to shop at a department store. The people are going to turn on them. They're going to protest. They're going to absolutely harass them until they decide that they're going to tell the president, no, I can't have.
They're going to harass them. You see what this bitch is saying? Is you hearing this bitch? This bitch should be locked the fuck up. This bitch is a congresswoman. Inciting violence. When this bitch lives in a $4 million fucking home. When over 50,000 of the people living in her district, but she don't even fucking live in, wasn't even raised there, are fucking impoverished. And she gets to wear these fucking chokers around her fucking neck to hide that saggy ass shit she call a neck. With that fucking hair hat on her fucking head and that disgusting critter face she got. Who remember the movie? It was a movie about a little boy. He had glasses. His grandmother was a good witch, and she took him on a banquet, and the little boy ended up getting turned to a mouse by a bunch of bad witches. The bad witch in there, she was a beautiful woman, but when they made her up and turned her into a woman rat, that's exactly what it looked like. I wonder what was the name of that movie. Can anyone remember the name? The Witched, that's the name of it. We're gonna look it up right now. Let me pull up that face. Yeah, there we go. Here we go.
The
right
Witches.
Here. The Witches, yeah.
From 1990.
Yeah. Here this bitch go right here. This is what the fuck she really looks like with that wig off her fucking head. This is what Maxi Pad Waters look like. Same neck, everything. Fuck out of here. You can't fool me. You try to tell me this is not this bitch. You's a fucking liar. You and I both know that that's fucking Maxi Pad Waters. I'm starting to believe there may be some truth to these movies in real life, people. Starting to believe it. Yes, Mr. Bean was in this movie. That's Maxi Pad Waters. Why is she not arrested?
hang with you.
This week alone, we saw endorsement of such tactics from Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, who said that hounding public officials was fine because of white supremacy or something.
When you look at white supremacists and all of that, this is what's coming forth in our country.
This Asian bitch is telling this white bitch in front of her about white supremacy. Did you hear what I just said? This white bitch got this Asian bitch in front of her telling her about white supremacy. And white guilt got this white bitch allowing this Asian bitch to sit in front of her and talk to her about some fucking white supremacy. When this Asian bitch has never in her life faced discrimination. Never. Asians are the least less likely to be discriminated against. And honestly, it's because of their work ethic and because monetarily, you find that they're successful. They pretty much own shit. So people always generally give Asian people a great deal of respect. And they give, I'm probably one of the only black men that's really down to fight a fucking Asian, because a lot of people still think to this day they all know fucking karate. An Asian is the less likely to be discriminated against. But this bitch would sit on television in front of the whole world and talk about a fucking white supremacy. The most idiotic shit is happening before your very fucking eyes. And we allow that shit. No one questions that shit. Why is it that this bitch on this screen is always at every fucking event where someone is fucking boycotting? Why this bitch always there? I'll tell you why she's always there. Because they're paying her to. The bitch who's never faced discrimination gets to talk to you about discrimination. The bitch who talks about white supremacy never experienced white supremacy, but she's definitely working for the right hand of it because the Democratic Party is the foundation of it. Just the facts. They're pulling a bunch of fucking college kids, and these college kids think because this bitch is on television and she's somebody, and she's sitting there telling them what the fuck to say and getting in the fucking people's faces so the kids can get a fucking arrested. These are professors, politicians. They all should be locked the fuck up. Or at least arrested. They should be arrested. Maxie Pad Waters should be locked the fuck up. I never wish prison on nobody. That bitch should be arrested. She should be arrested. That's terroristic threats. Madonna should be arrested. What the fuck is this actor's name that got drunk and wanted to beat on his wife? Johnny Depp should be arrested. Those are terroristic threats. And just because they're fucking rich, white liberals, it doesn't mean that they get to fucking make them and then absolutely not be held accountable by the fucking justice system. Because the same way celebrities are used to sell products, and every celebrity I just named has been used to sell products. Johnny Depp has a cologne. Madonna has a perfume. Any one of these motherfuckers that have sold products should all be also sued as well. Because as product ambassadors, you shouldn't say shit like that. Because it promotes it and it has your fans doing it. Because if your fans go out and spend hundreds of dollars on fucking cologne that they shouldn't even buy in the first place, if it ain't fucking Gucci, Tom Ford, or Versace, you don't need to buy it. Spice Bomb is dope too. But all that other Dolce & Gabbana shit and everything, when you see a fucking liberal's face on that fucking bottle, and you pick it up, you're gonna smell disgusting. I don't give a fuck how you rub that shit on.
Of tremendous divisiveness in our country, but this is the kind of activism.
The divisiveness is the fact that this bitch looked like a squirrel with fucking nuts on the side of both her fucking chins, and she's been storing them there forever.
That occurs, and people make their own decisions.
Former Attorney General Eric Holder emerged from the woodwork to explain that the new politics of the Democratic Party is to actually kick Republicans when they go low.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them.
And, of course, we saw Hillary Clinton, who, thank God, is still not president, state that civility with Republicans is completely out of the question.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
It's funny she's saying that because her political party is outside beating on people of all color because they want Donald Trump to succeed as president. Sounds like the teapot calling the kettle black. That's what it sounds like to me. It's obvious that they do this shit in your faces, man. This bitch don't give a fuck about you. You think she do? Why the fuck ain't she out doing some work for new policy change? Why isn't this bitch out trying to change the conditions in prison in which she's partly fucking responsible for? If this bitch really cared, if she really cared, she would have worked on prison reform before Donald Trump was in office. 8 years of fucking Barack Obama was his fucking Secretary of State, where she went in, she robbed Haiti, did everything the fuck she could, and got the fuck out. But she forgot to fix the prison system that her and her husband and Joe Biden bombarded with fucking black bodies. Poor white bodies. And the fucking industrial prison system and the complex is built all around his fucking administration. Shit, I tell you what. Maybe even then, when she let Americans die overseas and everything else. Why isn't she doing something now about it? They're going to go on a city verbal insult tour where they'll insult your intelligence with a bunch of bullshit and charge you anywhere from $700 to $4,000 to get lied to. They didn't announce that this money was going to go to any real charity, not the Clinton Foundation. They're not saying we're going to do a city tour and not charge anything. We're just going to talk about prison reform. Me and my husband, who's responsible for this shit, so we can work to fix it. Why? Because that bitch don't care about you. That bitch don't care about me. That's why. Putin's in front of your face. So we want to sit here and lie and act as if this bitch ain't evil? Are we going to sit here and lie and act as if everyone in the Democratic Party don't know who the fuck this bitch is? Do you believe that President Obama, being the president of the United States of America, wouldn't know what she was up to? You think so? You believe that? Honestly, you ask yourself, why is it that none of the Democrats, aside from the one black dude from CNN, has worked with the Trump administration on prison reform? Because they don't give a fuck about you, and they don't give a fuck about me. You need to wake up. Because if they take over, they'll stop all investigations. They'll open the borders. They'll force you to have chips inserted in you and carry around an ID card. That way they can hold your financials and then call them credits. A credit isn't something that you own. It's something that you lent. It's something that you borrow. A credit. This is accredited to you. This is loaned to you. Everything you work for, they will loan you the things that you like. Whenever they don't like you anymore, they can turn that card off and come take all of their things back and take your life. And while all of this is happening, they're going to round up every conservative and every nigga from the hood that was a liberal, and every Spanish, fucking Latino, or whoever the fuck else was down with the being cool party, because they know now you're going to be upset. They know now you're going to want to get violent. They know. I've had King Alfred playing on the show already. They're going to lock up the Latinos, the blacks, and the rest of the minorities and put their asses in FEMA camps. Or they're going to start to kill their asses. And every fucking conservative is either a blue dot outside your house or a red dot. And the red dot means they're going to take you away. Every conservative. Everybody that got guns. Guns in your name. Anyone with a criminal record. They're going to take you away. The people that will remain here will be those that have something to lose. So they will stay in place and in pocket. And it will be the people that will not have guns. But for all of those people that are outside shouting, open the borders and do this and we hate Trump and Trump's a racist, they're going to be crying online, thinking about how they're responsible for what's happening to the millions of people all around them.
That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and or the Senate, that's when civility can start again.
Now, many in the media, particularly over at CNN, made excuses for both this incendiary rhetoric.
That's when we can start stability again. The country is economically great. It's doing great. The country on jobs is doing great. The country with the VA is doing great. The country with foreign trade is doing great. The country in support of the president is doing great. MAGA. America is great again. What is this bitch talking about? Stability.
And for the mob itself. In a peculiar form of gaslighting, Brooke Baldwin of CNN suggested that mobs in Washington, D.C. weren't really mobs. The only true mobs are Republican mobs.
A mob is what we saw in Charlottesville, Virginia 2 Augusts ago.
No,
a mob is
both.
Not what we saw chasing. I'm not saying what they did was right.
What about the people who were at the Supreme Court banging on the walls? What do you call that? Civil protest? Or is that a mob?
So much journalisming from CNN. Don Lemon on CNN, he said the same thing. He said that people who harass people at restaurants aren't mobs. Those are just, angry people.
Is it mob behavior? No, it's not mob behavior. It's people who are upset and they're angry with the way the country is going.
And, of course, Jim Acosta of CNN. And, folks, find you someone who loves you, like Jim Acosta loves Jim Acosta. Tried to blame President Trump for the Democrats' mob strategy.
Have you been to a Trump rally? I mean, you do hear rhetoric at those rallies that would.
I hate Jim Acosta.
would conjure up images of a mob. Perhaps the president knows what mob rule and mob tactics look like because he encourages them himself.
The media's attempts.
He should never be allowed to come to a rally again. If he ever goes to a rally and I don't hear that he had tomatoes and shit all over him, covering him when he left, I'm going to be highly disappointed in the Conservative Party.
To cover for Democratic mobs are nothing new, and neither are Democratic embraces of the mob. The truth is that this strategy, emboldening political mobs in order to strengthen political power, has been a mainstay among Democrats for generations. In the 1960s, Democrats across the country engaged in what author Fred Siegel calls riot ideology, the belief that riots were a reflection of deep underlying social ills that could only be cured by more government. Demagogues like Marion Barry, who would later become mayor of Washington, D.C., fully embraced this logic.
Welcome to Wistia. We make video software for the video-loving business.
He said of the Black Panthers, quote, "I know for a fact that white people get scared of the Panthers, and they might look at somebody a little more moderate and say, well, let's give them a little money." New York City Mayor John Lindsay said that mass unrest could be the spur to more leftist policies, explaining, quote, "Our experience is that some good can come of confrontation politics." The left fully embraced the Occupy Wall Street movement, despite its routine violation of law. That movement supposedly represented the best American politics had to offer. Jay Carney, Obama's White House press secretary, said of Occupy that, quote, "One man's mob is another man's democracy." President Obama himself expressed sympathy for rioters in cities ranging from Baltimore to Ferguson.
On the other hand, those who are only interested in focusing on the violence and just want the problem to go away need to recognize that we do have work to do here. And we shouldn't try to paper it over. Whenever we do that, the anger may momentarily subside, but over time it builds up, and America isn't everything that it could be.
In fact, President Obama wasn't afraid to use the mob as a catalyst for his policy preferences. In 2009, he infamously told bank CEOs that they'd better cave to his policy demands because, quote, "My administration is the only thing between you and the pitchforks." And President Obama was not afraid to use his own charged language to channel anger for political purposes. You remember this one? If they bring a knife to the fight, we bring a gun? Or do you remember when President Obama told people to, quote, "argue with their neighbors, get in their face"? Obama's White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Jim Messina, he told Democrats to, quote, "punch back twice as hard." And, of course, much of the left has come out to support Antifa, like, for example, CNN's objective reporter, Chris Cuomo.
But fighting hate is right. And in a clash between hate and those who oppose it are on the side.
And it's funny because he's saying this about Antifa, and I just showed you yesterday that his homo brother is trying to charge Proud Boys and call them Nazis. If the fix isn't in, people, I don't know what the fuck it is. This is the governor's brother, aiding and abetting felons known as Antifa, who destroy property and harm people. And he's over here advocating for them.
Of right. People who show up to fight against bigots are not to be judged the same as the bigots, even if they do resort to the same kinds of petty violence.
In fact, a favorite tactic of the modern left is to allow mob violence on college campuses, then claim that conservative speakers like me can't come to campus thanks to the threat of mob violence. That's what happened when I tried to speak at DePaul University in Chicago last year, where security threatened to arrest me for showing up after students suggested that things might get violent. Just to be clear, if I attempt to enter that hall right there and sit down just to listen to somebody speak, or if I attempt to ask a question or to engage in free speech, you will have me arrested.
At this point, yes, sir.
Okay. It's quite odd how the supposedly unbiased media seems so unwilling to call out Democratic mob politics, but so eager to label
hate is right. And in a clash between
mob violence on college campuses, then claim that conservative speakers like me can't come to campus thanks to the threat of mob violence. That's what happened when I tried to speak at DePaul University in Chicago last year, where security threatened to arrest me for showing up after students suggested that things might get violent. Just to be clear, if I attempt to enter that hall right there and sit down just to listen to somebody speak, or if I attempt to ask a question or to engage in free speech, you will have me arrested.
At this point, yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm texting Brandon right now. I'm about to get Brandon Tatum on the show. I'm waiting on him, but I'm letting you know that's why I'm texting, and we're going to have him on the show.
Quite odd how the supposedly unbiased media seems so unwilling to call out Democratic mob politics, but so eager to label conservatives violent. Democrats certainly had no problem panicking over President Trump's violent rhetoric in 2016. And Democrats have even been willing to slander nonviolent conservatives. They routinely called Tea Partiers members of a mob, or even terrorists. Here's Jimmy Hoffa Jr. introducing President Obama at an event in 2011 and going after the Tea Party.
Let's take these son of a out and give America back to America where we belong. Thank you very much.
When I spoke at Berkeley, hundreds of protesters, some of whom got violent and were arrested, chanted that my speech was itself a form of violence. So that's the leftist logic. Everything conservatives do is violent and aggressive, but nothing Democrats do is. And herein lies the point. For Democrats, every available avenue of resistance against Republicans is justified. Riots aren't riots. They're uprisings. Mobs aren't mobs. Those are just angry people. According to the media and the political left, but I repeat myself, Republicans are evil, so even their speech is violence. Democrats are good, so even their violence is speech. The Democratic embrace of mob politics is ugly, but it may be just the reminder Americans need that handing power to a group of people who cheer on the mob while attacking individual rights would be a terrible, terrible mistake. That's tonight's Big Takedown. Coming up, we're going to take a deeper look at the left's utter panic over Kanye West's White House visit. Thanks for watching the Ben Shapiro Election Special. Having the temerity to wear...
I can remember the first time our boss...
They ain't gonna let him go. I ain't gonna let them get that money off me.
Here's what Kanye had to say.
There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape. For me, also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Rap Lauren, looks up to American industry guys.
It's just delicious. But the media reacted with utter shock and horror. Here, for example, is the reaction of MSNBC's Ali Velshi and Stephanie Ruhle to
because they don't want you to be a man. Because a real man will tell another real man, you're doing a great fucking job. You're one hell of a fucking man. And I admire that shit. And I'm going to take some of the shit you doing and I'm going to apply it to my life. Because it can only make me a better man. Since I know in my heart, you're a damn good man. Men, we're going to start establishing that again. You know what I was doing before I left New York? I would purposely walk from home to the shop. You know, opening the shop, on the way there, I would always stop and say good morning to everybody that I could. I didn't just stop and just touch people, but if you were walking past me, you gotta, hey, how you doing? Good morning. If I was walking past you at night, hey, how's everybody doing? Peace, 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 peace. And then after a while, people see you and they start doing it to you. Nothing wrong with seeing a brother out and you say, hey, brother, that's a nice jacket, man. Or you've seen someone doing some great work in your community and you stop them and you shake their hand and you say, thank you very much. You see a serviceman. Whenever I see a serviceman, I tell him thank you. Shannon tell you that firsthand. I always say thank you for your service. I stop whatever it is I'm doing. I put my bags down, whatever it is I'm doing, and I make sure I give them that fucking respect, no matter what gender they are. Take some time to say something nice to somebody, and take the time to say hello to people when you're walking past them. Because this is also how you change people from the left. You show them how good of a person you really fucking are.
Kanye's Oval Office appearance.
Wow. Okay, I'm doing this for everybody who's watching us who turned their volume down. You can put it back up again.
But if you think you're
bonkers.
going to get a thoughtful play-by-play and political analysis, you're not. Because that was an assault on our White House.
Jim Acosta of CNN was utterly appalled that Kanye cursed in the Oval Office, tweeting, quote, Kanye just said, mother bleeper in the Oval Office, per White House pool. Members of the media are so angry about Kanye in the White House, they might also be angry if, say, Snoop Dogg went to the White House and smoked pot there. Oh, wait. He says he did. When Barack Obama was president.
When you went, was it a better experience, or were you like, oh man, I shouldn't have toked it up?
No, it was an awesome experience. It's one for the ages, and I can't wait for him to come out of the office so we can talk about what really went down.
Or maybe the media might be upset if Jay-Z and Beyonce took over the situation.
Is he implying that Barack Obama smoked a blunt with him?
Situation room. Oh, wait. They did. When Barack Obama was president. Or maybe they'd be enraged if Common, a rapper whose lyrics have glorified terrorist Assad Shakur, went to the White House.
I don't agree with him about a shot of Shakur.
Oh, wait. He did. When Barack Obama was president. Now, I'm pretty consistent on this. I don't like celebrity politics, no matter which side it comes from. But here's the truth. Folks in the media are only angry at Kanye. They are angry beyond belief that West has bucked the Hollywood status quo. That status quo says that people in Hollywood are not allowed to be conservative, let alone Republican, let alone Trump supporters. If you voted for Trump in Hollywood, you are an outcast. You're seen as an emissary of evil. And if you are a black celebrity who backs Trump, that's even worse. Then you're basically Satan. Kanye checks the boxes on both counts. He's one of...
Shannon made me some vegetable fried rice. Shannon is dope.
The biggest celebrity...
I just killed this shit in front of you.
...on planet Earth, and he's a black man. That means he's a traitor to both his race and to his industry, according to the media. How else can we explain the level of absolute vicious outrage from the left over Kanye's willingness to reach out to Trump, who, by the way, has already reached back out to Kanye by pardoning Alice Marie Johnson, and now wants to reach out more with criminal justice reform? Just listen to former Democratic National Committee chairwoman Donna Brazile, who tweeted that Kanye had set black Americans back 155 years, all the way back to 1863, when slavery was still in force. Yes, a black man visiting the White House to express his own perspective somehow set blacks all the way back to slavery. What a disgusting, nasty, vile comment. And it gets even worse. Here is Objective, CNN host Don Lemon, invoking Kanye's dead mom in order to shame him.
This was an embarrassment. Kanye's mother is rolling over in her grave.
Just gross. Or check out this panel from CNN, in which several contributors slam Kanye as mentally ill and ignorant. And Don Lemon laughed along.
Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. And we have this now, and now Donald Trump is going to use it and pervert it, and he's going to have somebody who can stand with him and take pictures.
That right there, that's called blatant racism. Kanye isn't legitimately black because of his viewpoint, apparently. He's obviously crazy, too. This is identity politics at its finest. Kanye can't think differently because Kanye is of a particular race. All of this fits into a broader view, held by many on the left, that America is now divided between white folks and minority folks, and that minority folks believe woke social justice warrior dogma. In fact, if they don't...
We're here trying to understand each other. Stop fighting.
This here does the talking for me.
Stop that.
They're race traitors. There's only one problem for the left. That is simply not true. A new study titled Hidden Tribes from 4 academics investigated how Americans feel about political correctness. And the study found that Americans hate political correctness, regardless of age, race, or income. Americans are not interested in the left's brand of groupthink. Fully 80% of Americans believe political correctness is a problem, including 82% of Asians, 87% of Hispanics, 88% of Native Americans, and 3/4 of Black Americans. In fact, the only group of people who still believe in political correctness are far-left progressives. And hilariously, as the study suggests, those progressives are disproportionately white and rich. Leftists want to tell everybody else what to think, but Americans think for themselves. Kanye West says he freed his mind of what he calls self-victimization. He's urged people to think for themselves. He should certainly be applauded for that. Those who aren't applauding, the people who say Kanye West should be torn apart for acting like an individual rather than collapsing to the tyranny of intersectionality, they're just demonstrating how intolerant they are. And here's the problem for Democrats and their media allies. More and more Americans know it. Americans of all colors agree that the politically correct identity politics of the left, those politics are purely toxic. No wonder the left is so scared of Kanye and so scared of anyone who thinks outside the box. Coming up, Fox News contributor Richard Fowler stops by to battle it out over Kanye and the left's embrace of the mob. You're not going to want to miss it.
Don't worry, people. We're going to get everything situated.
Live from America's news headquarters, I am Todd Pyro. The government of Saudi Arabia vowing to retaliate with, quote, greater action if President Trump's sanctions the country for the possible murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. This threat coming just days after the president warned of severe punishment if it's determined that the Saudi government was in fact behind the journalist's disappearance. Khashoggi disappeared nearly 2 weeks ago after entering the Saudi consulate in Turkey. And 25 people taken to the hospital, 5 of them in serious condition after a pileup accident on Interstate 405 in Los Angeles. The crash involving a white charter bus and at least 2 other cars shut down all lanes on the highway for about an hour and a half and backed up traffic for miles. California State Police are now investigating the cause. I'm Todd Pyro. Now back to the Ben Shapiro election special.
I want to take a pause to this, and I want to give a welcome to Miss Shannon from the New Right Party. And thank her for being in the building. It's appreciated. Thank you very, very much.
Hello.
Getting Brandon situated. The brother's going to come in. I just want to talk about a little bit about what's going on with the hip-hop community, the choices that we as Americans can make, how he, of course, you've seen his show. We all watched his show and how he felt about, the situation with Kanye West. But what I want to talk about is how does he feel from his point of view? Because, with me, I see conservative blacks that are more inner city jeans, the fitteds. You see, I always have my do-rag on to keep my waves down. But he deals with a lot of, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to diss my inner city conservatives, but he deals with a lot of bright and young, promising conservatives that that look at the inner city culture and they love it. You know what I mean? Like they love the Kanyes, they love the J. Cole's and the other artists that come from the, and they tell you the stories. And I just want to know how does what impression does he get now from our younger side? He does a lot of speaking in schools and everything else. And what impression does he get now from our younger conservatives about Kanye coming out and actually saying that, he's for Trump? And I also want to know what he feel about Larry Hoover being released. What do you think about Larry Hoover being released? Did you get a chance to look at him yet, or you didn't get to look him up yet?
No, not really. But you said you thought it would be positive for the community.
I think so, yes. I'm
for
sorry
Chicago.
I got my hands on your neck, but I'm trying to fix your chains.
Anything better for Chicago, I'm always a fan of, given that that was my home for 30 years.
Okay. Me for that. For that. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for being here. It's very nice of you being in the building. I'm trying not to curse as bad as I do.
Well, back to Kanye West and the left's mob tactics. Here to debate, radio talk show host and Fox News contributor Richard Feller. Richard, thanks so much for stopping by.
Good to be here.
Let's start with Kanye because Kanye is more fun. So, what was your take on Kanye? And more importantly, how do you respond to the media's response to Kanye? Because you saw some pretty over-the-top statements from folks like Don Lemon suggesting his mom would be embarrassed of him.
So listen, I try to, before I ignored the media's comments and I watched it a couple times. I watched it numerous times and I tried to, I mean, it was at best stream of consciousness, at worst incoherent, depending upon who watched it, what view you took. I took some pull quotes. My favorite of the pull quotes was this one. We don't have reparations, but we have the 13th Amendment. Quote Kanye West. And it was an interesting quote for me because I think where it is, and it's a very interesting turn of events for conservatives because they are now in the seat where they're defending Kanye West. And when you think about it, his policies are not really aligned with where the president is because I don't think the president or Paul Ryan or Mitch McConnell or even you for that matter are rushing out to pass a reparations bill to give African Americans 40 acres and a mule. And I don't think that there's even a commitment to change the 13th Amendment so we can end prisons or imprisoning people. So where Kanye is very different from where the president of the Republican Party is, but now conservatives are defending Kanye.
Well, I think mostly what we're defending Kanye on, and I've always said, live by the Kanye, die by the Kanye. But what I've said about Kanye is that what I think is important is that he's at least...
We're going to get that and turn that to shirts.
I like that.
We're going to get that and turn that to shirts. Live by the Kanye, die by the Kanye. We're going to get that. We're going to try to have them for Turning Point USA. I would like us to have that. And I also want jackets that say, Yeezy taught me.
Oh, I like that. That's a good idea.
At least expressing that he wants to think as an individual and he doesn't feel like being boxed in by identity politics. And this is why I'm asking the media question, because what you do see from a bunch of members of the media over the last several days has been this attempt to basically say that Kanye is some sort of race traitor, that Kanye has done something deeply wrong to betray people. Do you believe that? Or
no, I mean, listen, Kanye's entitled to his opinions. I just believe that you have to be very responsible when you make those opinions, right? Because you do have an audience, and it's your job to be very educated about the opinions that you do make.
I tend to agree, but he's a celebrity, right? Is this a new rule for Kanye, or does it also
I think that rule applies to every celebrity. So when you walk into
Milano, maybe?
Yeah, when you walk into the Oval Office and you say that you believe that people who are innocent...
about
now playing free on Curiosity
Stream. I'm about to pause this real quick, because, you know, we about to get my brother from another mother, the world famous Brandon Tatum in the building. Let me open this stream up. Let's get this brother on. I'm sorry, people. Give me one moment. This is all...
Someone asked if I have a YouTube channel.
No, not yet.
Not yet. No, not yet.
This is her YouTube channel. Oh man, let me get this situated with him. I'll finish critiquing this, and then when he calls in back, I'll answer, and then I'll stop critiquing the news.
Science and technology are transforming our law.
or people who are convicted of wrongfully, or people who are convicted of drug crime should be set free. That's one thing. But then to go in there and say, I believe you should release Larry Hoover, one of the most notorious gangsters in America, who's in the Supermax next to the Unabomber, that's indeed problematic. And so education is important.
Gang. See, now this is where it comes in. A motherfucker who wouldn't want to spend one night in jail, not one night in jail, is telling you that somebody else don't deserve to be free. When this man in specific can actually end thousands of murders in Chicago. See, the Democrats send people out there to talk. And the people that are talking don't know what the fuck they talking about. They don't have the slightest fucking clue. None whatsoever. He doesn't know who Larry Hoover is. Let's see if he breaks him down. Let me see. Because he seems like he knows.
I'm not going to sit here and say, well, race aside, I have a problem with releasing Larry Hoover back into the streets of America.
So do I, but I think the real question here is the double standard.
What did he say? Why? Why? He doesn't even know who Larry Hoover is. He just knows that he's a gangster. That's it. It's the only thing he knows. You know how many diabolical motherfuckers the U.S. allowed to live? They befriended Saddam Hussein before they killed him. They befriended Osama bin Laden before they killed him. They befriended Barack Obama and elected him president. They've been cool with all type of terrorists. They allowing a current terrorist to run around right now.
What's up, bro?
Bro, what's good, bro? What's good? Hold on, let me get your let me get there you go. Yeah, got you on the screen. We got the big bro Brandon Tatum in the building, everybody. You know we gotta get this brother a round of applause. You know, I just wanna, shout you out for being in the building, and definitely I want to shout you out for reaching out to me. This is a real example of what a true black man is when you're down, and no one is supposed to kick you. They're supposed to help you up. They're supposed to uplift you. This brother has been doing this and taking all fucking types of heat for doing this shit. Everything they saying to Kanye, they've been saying it in his fucking comment section for a long fucking time. This is my brother with the thick skin, man. Shout outs to you, man. We are definitely excited about doing Turning Point. I spoke to Candace. We excited. Me and Shannon are excited. We ready. I wanted to talk to you about the whole Kanye shit, bro, man. So I talked about T.I. I posted on my IG. From a street side, I'm gonna tell you T.I.'s pussy. Yeah, like T.I.'s pussy. You understand? Like straight pussy. And then at first, when he caught his Fed case, right? I said give him the benefit of the doubt, because in the Feds, if they catch you with 60 guns at one time, you're still gonna get the time for as if it was one gun. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the federal law. You understand? So I said, let's just hold tight. Let's just hold our reserves about saying something about somebody like that, because you're supposed to have proper documentation to say stuff like that. Then he clear cut turn around and start calling the president a fucking racist. And I'm like, isn't it the same nigga who was asking for the federal street rules to apply to him? So how the fuck don't it apply to him calling the president a racist? Fast forward. This disrespectful piece of shit has a model acting like the first lady in the White House doing a striptease. I'm sitting there like, this nigga, the same nigga that baby moms was sneaking over to Floyd Mayweather's house, getting caught dancing all on Floyd, and he wanted to fight Floyd because his female was stepping the fuck out. The Democrats always blame you for the shit that's happening to them, Or they did. You understand what I'm saying, dog? It's fucking crazy.
I'll say this, bro. I'll say this. T.I. is the fakest dude that I've ever seen. See, when I grew up, man, I grew up around some real hood dudes. And hood dudes don't talk like T.I., man. He putting on a facade, man. Real hood dudes, they don't speak where they going. They don't talk noise. They just about their business. They don't do social media drama. They don't do social media beef. They just take care of business. T.I., bro, the same dude that's spending all his time, effort, and energy talking about killing people and selling dope, all this is trying to use big words to describe Kanye West and say that he's some type of a bad example. Bro, T.I. is the worst example based on his music. But you know T.I. ain't living in the hood no more.
Listen. Fuck music. Watch this. I'm gonna break it down, big bro. Now, fuck music. Watch this, right? And I know you don't curse, but you know I get my curse on. All right, so listen. Let me explain to you how T.I. is a fraud. One, I have a felony. I cannot legally have firearms. There's legal firearms in his house. My lady can have guns. You understand? I have the legal right to protect myself if an intruder comes in here. I may not be able to carry him outside and do other normal activities that other citizens can do. But there's no way in the world I might have a bunch of illegal guns around me so they can come in here, take me away, take my lady away, take my kids away. How the fuck is he a real street nigga? No street niggas. No real street niggas who was really playing to that level, getting money, would have ever had a woman who didn't have a felony, who was a multi-platinum recording artist, who was a millionaire, not have legal firearms in her fucking name in that house in the first place. First and foremost, if he was really a street nigga, he wouldn't be talking about the president and making his fucking self hot. He'd be shutting the fuck up because people around him would still be doing street shit. This is the whole point of showing you when a nigga is far gone and sold the fuck out. Street niggas ain't gonna sit there and be talking about the president. The president has the power to have you smoked, man. Like, where the fuck ever you at? Like, we gotta really put this shit in perspective. They got real hit squads. Not no punk ass niggas from the hood with little waist burners pulling up and trying to... They got big bombs and shit like that. Like, we got specialists... Listen, they got specialists who can make the whole building, the whole block blow up and make it seem like it's a gas explosion, man. Like, seriously, all jokes aside. So any real street nigga knowing that is gonna be like, let me shut the fuck up, mind my business and get my money, be humble, and see how this shit play out. Because that's what most black people doing in the first place anyway.
Well, you can tell, bro. Him and Snoop Dogg the same way, bro. The two fakest thugs in the game right now, running their mouth. All the real street dudes, the hood dudes, they laying low. Because they know what it is, man. They understand the hustle. No. They understand what Trump did to get in the White House. They understand who he was all this time. And all of a sudden now, they want to act like he ain't real. Man, P. Diddy not saying that he a thug or nothing. But even P. Diddy, faker than some $12 Louis Vuittons, man.
Diddy need to shut the fuck up, too. You know why? Because we all know he had Tupac killed. The whole world know it. So the last thing P. Diddy want is for the man with the pen in the big chair to decide to say there is no fucking statute of limitations on murder. And there is no one there, but we have a declaration. We have declarations to individuals, and now that I'm the president, go find the other individuals who wouldn't talk and tell them we will get their asses partners if they tell us what the fuck is going on right now. Because the only reason why Puffy ain't getting charged is because there's some gangsters that's not getting involved. That just is a dude named Keefy D that told the whole story. Crip dude was in the car with his nephew when he smoked pot. Said Puffy didn't give him $500,000. Then there's two dudes who's incarcerated that are not corroborating that story. And all the feds need is 2 or more. You and I both know that, bro. And if one of them decides to say, I want to come home. I'll write my book. I'll get the money from it. Whatever. I'm going to tell the truth, though. Fuck it. It's over for Diddy. That's another dumb motherfucker who need to shut the fuck up and just lay low. Because initially, remember, he was telling people give Donald Trump a chance. Remember, that's the first thing he said.
You know, I don't know why they switching up on Trump like that, man. I don't know why they switching, man. These dudes got power. And I don't know why they switching and they feel like they got to be fake. You know, P. Diddy all up under Trump armpits. I was looking at this picture, man. He all under Trump's arm. You know, all on him and Melania. And then now he talking about he need Kanye West to come have a conversation with him. Like they run in the streets, man. These dudes are so fake to me because they can actually make a difference in the black community, but they ain't doing nothing, man. They won't meet with the president and they won't use all that resources and money that they have to go back and do something positive. I'm not talking about do a fundraiser. I'm not talking about do a community event. I'm talking about literally making an impact through, some of them dudes can probably help people run for office and do things like that, or even buying up property, buying businesses, circulating the black wealth in the community. They have the power to do that, but what are they doing? Nothing. They just running their mouth. They just talk.
And everybody from the hood,
they complain about Trump.
Everybody from the hood know that though. And the biggest thing known about P. Diddy in the hood is that he jerk his artists and he jerk men. So it don't even fucking matter. You understand? Like, at the end of the day, let me tell you something. This is the one thing that, this is why I know this is from God, right? And remember, I was talking to you about the invention. We all gonna sit down because I want to include you in it too. I want everybody to eat. I don't need to have it all. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody could come up, you know what I mean? If I could bring everybody to the table with this and everybody could come up and we could all be on Forbes, and let's fucking do it. But the one thing I wanted to say is whenever we deal with artists like P. Diddy, or Snoop Dogg, or any one of these motherfuckers, you got to really think about what are the streets saying about these people. None of these individuals that we just talked about have more of an impact on the streets than Kanye West. Diddy had the clothing line. Diddy had all of this shit. Look how fast Diddy died. All that shit dwindled. And Diddy always had to depend on other people to make Diddy hot. Kanye West has the world's leading sneaker sold. Beat Jordan now. He did all that shit when he first came out with the MAGA hat. Somebody probably calling him right now.
I'm back.
All right, yeah. He did that when he first came out with the MAGA hat. No one went against him then. So what I was looking at is the numbers, right? Then I go on Instagram and I look at the hashtags. The fuck Trumps against the I love Trumps hashtags. The kill Trumps against the die for Trump hashtags. And you'll always see that we outnumber these people by the thousands, hundreds of thousands. So then I'm looking too, and I'm like, then well, we know the media always stole people, and it's the same people, the same group of people, so it all can't be fake. So when I start looking at numbers, and I see it's not adding up, I'm saying to myself, like, it's really over. It's really over for that whole Democratic shit. The only reason why these people are coming out and saying the shit they're saying against Kanye is because they're being activated too. It's your turn. You go now. It's your time to pay your debt. It's your time to pay your due. Y'all gotta come out. Y'all gotta say something. Come on, T.I. Went and got caught again. He was on probation. Got caught with drugs and shit in the car and all that. He was supposed to went back to jail. Somehow he didn't go. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. We know why he didn't go.
You see my paperwork. I beat the feds. Came home off of a new law that came down. They appealed that shit and sent me back to jail to finish out that last year, dog. There's no way they don't just let niggas out. You understand what I'm saying? They locked up Lil Wayne. They gave Martha Stewart a year. This nigga.
Yeah, man. Hey, you can look at. I mean, I was a police officer, man. I know how it go. They can't fool me. I know when we catch them with all them rocks in their hand. We had a kid. We caught him with all them rocks, and he crying and stuff. He like, I can tell on everybody, man. we checked the info. He was snitching, boy. He was running. And he had some good info. We had this other dude, black kid. See, these dudes are so fake. They say fake gangsters. He throwing dope behind his back like he LeBron James, like we couldn't catch him. So we caught him. He crying in the car. I can't do that time, man. He say, I ain't a snitch, man, but I can't do that time because he about to go back to 15 for violating his probation plus the drugs. And that dude's singing like a bird. And then what he found out, he got tricked, he got played because when you're on probation, we can't work with you if you're on probation.
Yep.
He went in there snitching, and then we go, oh, you on probation? Man, we can't help you. So he didn't rat it on everybody and still went the time. You know, these dudes, it's the same thing T.I. and them doing. They on here talking about ASAP.
What you think,
and then when he get on, they snitching.
What you think Snoop Dogg did? You don't think Snoop Dogg snitched on Suge Knight? You don't think that? Remember when Suge Knight was like, this where that bitch ass nigga Snoop Dogg lived. This where that bitch ass nigga Dre lived. Remember the tape? Remember he had the tape where he was showing their houses and shit like that? showing how pussy they was. See, these new kids don't know. And you know who I want to get next to, too? That I'm going to holler at my DJ, and I'm going to get his number. You know my DJ's a Power 105, right? It's my best friend in the world. He's my cousin. You know what I mean? And he's my best friend in the world. And he always played my music, everything else. I do have to connect to Power 105. So I already told Candace we was going to get her up there. When we do all get to New York, I want to make sure you're there and we're all together. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be monumental. But do you know, I want to get next to Treyway. The homie said, yo, you know what? I don't have to agree with everything that they do online. You feel me? It's not my business to critique them. They grown-ass men. They do what the fuck they want to do, and they getting money. You know what I mean? But the one thing he said was, I don't know what these other rappers are saying. They pussy. He said, Kanye West said, free Larry Hoover.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that it would, because I got a real, you know, I'm a big Crip in New York. Man, I got another big blood in New York that is on board. I took Shannon to the hood, to the heart of the hood, bro. Took her to the heart of the hood, right? And I was letting her watch me talk to the Crips. And she was saying, they're receptive. Black people are receptive. Black people don't want to let a bunch of illegals in here to take over their neighborhoods. Black people know what's going on. We just can't come out and say the shit because then we wrong. You understand what I'm saying? People be hitting me up saying, yo, bro, they gonna kill you, but I love you. Like, yo, they gonna kill you, but I love you. Like, because I'm saying the shit that the hood wants to say. And the fucked up shit that the Democrats fucked up, and I'm so happy this happened. I know this is God, bro. I'm what they created. See, I've been in jail under their rule, their policies. I know what they're doing. I had to fight against them and their policies. I grew up in a single-parent household under the welfare state. I self-educated myself. I done dealt with the whole depression shit, everything they could throw at me. I done dealt with all of that shit. But now we dealing with the facts. Whenever you hear a rapper, and I've been saying it on Instagram, talk about how they've been going through it. This is the reason why I'm bringing this up. My music talks about shit that I've been through, my development. But what am I saying? And realistically, what am I saying? I'm saying that the Democrats did this to me. When I express in records that I have a self-hate and that I'm destructive, I do not have appreciation for women and or distinctly black women. When I only have appreciation for material gains and I expect my lifespan to be short, trying to ascertain them, I'm telling you that this is a condition that I found myself in due to a democratic state. What black people don't realize, bro, the reason why they get to say fuck Donald Trump is because of Republicans.
Right.
It's a fact. It's a fact. We get to wear the clothes we have on because of Republicans. I'm wearing this big ass chain because of the Republican Party. I can directly link my wealth, my growth, my education, my life to the Republican Party. What can we contribute to the Democratic Party?
Yeah, slavery. That's what we can. Slavery, Jim Crow, segregation. You know, they didn't even want to support the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment.
No.
They didn't even support that. They overwhelmingly opposed it. The Democrats. KKK, Democrats. You know what I'm saying? The welfare state, Democrats. What these illegals are doing in this country, pretty much blotting out black employment, Democrats. Man, it's crazy to me, bro. I done got mad because I found out that they've been lying to me this whole time. You know what I'm saying? I thought that the Republicans were the racist white folks. I thought the Republicans, if you asked me a year or two ago, let's say about 3 years ago, I would have said that the Republicans were the party of the Ku Klux Klan. That's what I thought. I mean, it had to be, right? How in the world black people vote for Democrats at 90% and they the party of the Ku Klux Klan?
With me, I ain't gonna
crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna be open and honest. My eyes been open since my eyes been open since 2010, right? And something happened in 1999 where I lost my, at the time, fiance, and she was pregnant for me in the World Trade Center. So my eyes were open then, but I thought it was just every white man in office was responsible. And then after being incarcerated, learning history, because in order for me to get my doctrine in divinity, I had to learn pretty much history, world history, because world history is religious history. So then I started to learn that it wasn't a Republican Party, it was a liberal party. I never voted Democrat. The first time I've ever voted in my whole entire life was for Donald J. Trump. I've never voted for Barack Obama. I swear on my father's grave, I had the drop-top Benz pulled up to the school with my family in it, let them out the car to go vote for that nigga. And I sat in the car, they was like, you vote for that nigga? I was like, no. I swear, bro, I swear. I was off like, nah, fuck that, I'm not voting for that nigga. Because I didn't believe it. I already knew what it was hitting for. I knew he was working for the New World Order. I said, listen, man, this dude is just too sharp. And he's not saying the things that he's supposed to say. He's saying the things that he's supposed to say. There's a big difference. I'm listening. And then you hear other speeches. He called us too feeble-minded to be able to think for ourselves. I played this shit on IG. These people fucking going crazy. And we be voting for him. No, we be voting for the image, not for the politician. We vote for who they align themselves with and how cool they seem to be, and that's where we go vote, because we don't vote on policies. No blacks are going to go vote in senators and shit like that. This November 6th will be absent black votes unless they are conservative. That's another thing I want to ask you. What's the temperature now of the young conservatives that you talk to now that Kanye West came out and said, fuck it, we trumping it?
Dude, I done had a gang of people send me messages with them hats on, saying that I started sharing them on my IG. I mean, I think I shared about 6 or 7 people, but that ain't even the number of collages that I've seen people wearing hats. Bro, people are not, this is what they sleeping on. Black people aren't stupid, right? We have been through slavery, we've been through Jim Crow, we've been through segregation, we've been through it all, bro, and we always seem to come out on top. Now, we fall in the rut for a while, but then we come out of it. I honestly believe that we coming out of it. I'm telling you, when I first started making my videos 2 years ago, I had a 90-10 split. 90% white people, 10% black people, if that. Probably 95-5. Bro, it's like 60-40 right now. I just looked in my inbox, and there was like 3 or 4 black people in a row. Don't even know each other, live all across the country. They send me inboxes like, bro, I appreciate what you're saying. I ain't never had that when I first started. And then the conference that we have at Young Black Leadership. Bro, we got like 600 people that apply. Dude, I mean, every day I'm getting tons of applications. There's probably 1,000 people apply in a matter of a week. I mean, at least we've had over 100 people apply in a matter of like 5 days. And bro, and this is not even, Kanye haven't even aligned with the Young Black Leadership Summit. We just talked about some of the speakers and the fact that we're going to be at the White House. Imagine if Kanye show up. Bro, I'm telling you, they are sleeping. The numbers said that Trump is at 36%.
They're not sleeping. And the numbers they said it was 36%. Right? Look, the numbers was 36%, right? But I say it's 45 because I always feel like they cut the degrees they cut at least 20% of the actual numbers. That's when I was checking the numbers when they said that he was going to lose, and then I seen what he won by. I checked, and it was in between 15 to 20% of what they was actually stealing away from him. So I gotta apply it now and give him like 42 to 45% of the black vote, because a lot of black people aren't just coming out and saying they're gonna vote for Trump. They're just silent about it. You know how black folks are. And a lot of white folks are doing the same thing. They're like, I don't want to be guilty. I don't want to be guilty. I don't want to feel like I'm guilty. He said I shouldn't have to be guilty. They saying I shouldn't have to be guilty. I don't want to be white guilt. Fuck it. I want to vote for Trump too. I want to put America first. What's wrong with that? The idea is it doesn't go with the one world government.
Right. That's true, bro. Open borders. That's why they want open borders. That's why they want America to be weakened, so we can be just as equally powerful as everybody else, so the people at the top can then run the world. That's exactly what they're doing, bro. There's no reason to have open borders. I told the people here. I told the people here. I told them, big bro. I said, yo, listen, man. I said, if once they open these borders, they're gonna put that chip in you or give you that card, and your life will be on that. There is no more money. The money, the idea of having something tangible is what's giving you the freedom. Now you gotta go. You gotta wrap it up.
You getting time?
Yeah, I got a little more time left.
All right, cool. All right. So well, once we lose that freedom and that freedom to move around, and they dictating where you go, because they pretty much doing it already, it's over. It's over. You don't have free speech. You smoke you when they want. Fine you, kill you right there on the spot. Obama already put an executive order into, if they feel like you, if Obama during his administration or during any Democratic administration, because Trump is not going to use it, of course, you know what I mean. But it's an executive order that Obama put in. He can find you, even if you're an American, anywhere you are in the world, detain you in or kill you, if he deems you an enemy of the state. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's probably what Hillary been doing all this time.
Oh, they've been doing that shit way before he put the executive order in. I think exposed that shit a million times on this show.
He did it. He did retro. He retroed it. They've been killing people like, dang, we need something to cover this. Man, I'm telling you, man. I agree with you, man. I know I got to run, bro. You got to have me back on the show.
Yo, listen, and I got to get on your show because you know why? I need people from the street to understand that there are brothers from the street that really, really follow your movement. You understand? Like, yo, man, I really, really appreciate you. I can't wait to actually get to DC to meet you. You know, I'm coming sharp. I'm letting you know right now. I'm coming sharp. I'm coming well dressed, prepared. I got something tailored. We're ready. And I definitely need to have you back on the show before we do it. Before we do the wild I just call it turning point. Yeah, I just call it the turning point event.
For sure.
Yeah, because when
it's gonna be big, man. You can have me back on the show. I just been busy the last couple of days.
I know you've been flying around here like Black Superman. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. You feel me? I
Black Superman without the cape, man. Without the cape.
Nah, because you know some Superman don't need him. You feel what I'm saying? Some Superman don't need him, man. Yeah, I appreciate having you on the show, big bro, man. It's always love and respect, man. Thank you very, very much for coming in, man.
Yeah, much love, man. Stay up, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, I got your back, bro.
Thank you, and I got yours. So, Miss Shannon from the New Right Party.
Hello. That was really great to have Brandon Tatum.
That was great. Yeah, it was a dope to have Brandon Tatum on. Yeah. So you look nice. You look sharp today. So, you in your opinion, what do you feel about Kanye West coming out and saying that he's for Trump?
What do I think about him doing that?
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with people, honestly, either way coming out. What I think is really great about Kanye, which no one's talking about, is that, you know, Snoop Dogg and every other people in Hollywood, they're all saying the same thing. You know, at the award show, it's the same thing. Whether you agree with Kanye or not, at least he's saying something different. He's saying it different. Like, so that's what makes me, that's what I like about him, is that, like, Snoop and T.I., I mean, it's all the same. Like, you could just replace their face with what they say. It's all the same. They're, like, reading a script, I feel. But at least with Kanye, he's off the wall and stuff, but at least it's different. At least it's unique. So I appreciate that, and I respect his courage.
I want to shout out everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building, all the subs in the building. I see it's Jinkin over there.
Oh, she's cute.
Shout out to all my deplorables in the building. Shout out to Brandon Tatum. I appreciate you being on the show. You know, I'm about to get back to critiquing some news. You want to stay on the set?
Yeah.
What happened? What's your happened?
Nothing else.
Why don't you know?
When it comes to celebrity from the left. But let's talk about the mob politics point, because that's the other big narrative this week, was the President Trump pushing the idea that Democrats have embraced mob politics. Is that overstating the case, or do you think that on a lot of sides these days the rhetoric is overheated?
Well, listen, I think we live in a tribalist society. I think if you were to take this, if you were to rewind the tapes, right, what Republicans are saying, what conservatives are saying, Democrats are saying in 2010 during the healthcare debate, or even during the government shutdown, when we saw folks rip down the metal barricades in front of the World War II memorial, We are currently in a tribalist society where you have both sides yelling at each other. And when you talk in 24 days from now,
do you really think there's an equation between like the Tea Party and what we just saw outside the Supreme Court or in the Senate building?
I think what you see is you see tribalism on both sides. You see people saying this is what we want. We're going to yell until we get it.
But is one side kind of actually?
But wait a minute. Let me finish my point. The point I'm trying to make here is that in this tribalism, what the American people are truly asking, not asking for people to be relatable, they're asking for representation. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, while we're both yelling at each other, 20 veterans committed suicide today. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, both in rural and urban communities, people don't have access to health care, and they want...
This motherfucker is dangerous, and you gotta watch this motherfucker, man, because this motherfucker got skills, man, and he just stopped being dead in his tracks and took control.
Answers to those problems, and that's what this election's about.
There we can agree, and I think that we can all agree that civility would probably be a better solution than what we've been seeing. Well, Richard, thanks so much for stopping by.
Damn. See, Ben,
How would you handle that?
you gave him the last word, you agreed with him with the last word, and you allowed him to spread the blame of all of this equally on both sides. You should have said, no, stop. There's tribalism, and then there's violent tribalism. And more so on the left, it is getting beyond fucking crazy. So if we're going to talk about tribalism, we can do that. We can talk about it because everyone has their tribe. True, and I agree to that. But there's a difference between a violent tribe and a tribe trying to express free speech and just trying to wear a red fucking hat.
And people you can't even have a conversation with. Like you can't have a conversation with those people. Like they're just so.
We should when you go to another rally, anyone going to a rally, I think that you should have two hats. One red MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, and one red hat that says fooled you. Wear the red hat that says fooled you first. That way if they take it off your head, when they see it, it says fooled you. You put your red hat on.
That's good.
I know.
No, but I mean, like, really, like especially the women, like on the left, like, because in my opinion, they're like leading the party at this point. Really, I mean, in my opinion, these men that don't even sign up to these women, and you can't even talk to them. Like they're just so irrational. You can't even have a conversation. So that's very concerning.
The left made it where you have to conform to the female's opinion no matter what.
Yes.
And then they also condition most liberal men to be born and raised in single-parent households where the female is, in fact, the head of the household. She tells him don't go against the government because the government is the person who's been giving her the aid, quote unquote.
Yeah,
I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show.
Yeah, I agree, subconscious.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the show. I want to thank everybody for checking in. Thank my brother Brandon Tatum. I couldn't get Kaya on today due to her schedule. The sister is busy. But I'm probably going to have her on the show. If not tomorrow, then definitely later on this week. But she will be on the show. There's a big executive order that Trump passed with music that's very significant. I also want to talk about her experience with Las Vegas. And I'm going to go in a little bit longer.
Coming up, our rundown panel joins us, and we'll churn through this week's hottest issues. Welcome to the rundown panel.
Part.
We're going to run through a series of topics in a way you haven't heard. Faster, more content. Everybody's got about 30 seconds to give their take. No topic takes longer than 90 seconds, and I will ding you if we hit the time limit or if you just get boring. Because
do you want to do this with me for 30 seconds? Sure. You want to go back and forth for each topic? Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right.
Clocks don't care about your feelings. Joining me today, Real Clear Politics Senior Election.
What we're going to do is once the clock starts, we're going to go, right? And we're going to start the clock on our end. Okay? We'll start the clock on our end, and then we'll stop it. And then we'll let them go and do them, and we'll hear what they got to say for a little bit. We'll do it a couple times. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Analyst Sean Trend, writer at the Daily Wire Amanda Prestigiacomo, and the Daily Wire senior editor Emily Zanotti. All right, let's play. So let's begin today with our assessment of the election, since it's now about 3 weeks away. Sean, where do you think this is going?
Well, one of the things that happened from the Kavanaugh hearing is it basically made everybody angry. We've seen Republican enthusiasm spike and Democratic enthusiasm spike. The problem that the Democrats have from this is that it means that their odds in the Senate have gone down significantly. They need to win in some very red states to take the Senate, and it's been a problem for them. The House is a different story, though. In the House, the Democrats don't have to go quite as deeply into red territory. What this has probably done in the House is put a cap on their gains, so the probability of a 40 or 50 seat pickup is much smaller. It's now a fight over who's going to get a narrow majority. The Democrats probably have an edge, but not an overwhelming one.
Amanda, do you feel an additional surge of enthusiasm among Republicans? I know that I do, and I'm talking.
Do you feel that there's an initial surge between Republicans?
I think there's a surge to stop the insanity on the left. So a lot of people that aren't even Republican, I do think are going to vote, just because even Democrats will vote. They just don't want this anymore. But PC, political correctness, people are just done with it, I think. All of it.
Sorry?
Yeah.
19 seconds.
Republicans these days.
100%. I mean, the Democrats were already galvanized, they were all just anti-Trump. But now, I mean, Republicans are so enthused by this Kavanaugh smear. I mean, it was pretty grotesque. It was pretty disgusting. So we have a lot of moms. Actually, there was polling. There was good analysis by Ryan Gordesky about it was Siena College and New York Times was looking at white working class millennials were actually tipping the scales towards Republicans in the House. So I don't not only think that we're going to pick up a few seats in the Senate, I think we're going to keep the House too, which is an ambitious.
Emily, I've been informed reliably that women are very upset and are going to vote in large numbers against Republicans.
From what I understand, we're voting in large numbers, but it looks like we're voting in large numbers for Republicans. Quite honestly, it looks like Democrats did in 2 weeks what Republicans have been trying to do in 10 years, which is unite everybody behind a single issue. And they did that with the Kavanaugh hearing.
Okay, we have to talk about Kanye. So next topic, we have to talk about Kanye because Kanye was a thing. I don't know anything about Kanye. I used to call him Yee instead of Ye because I really didn't know the difference, which I guess makes me ignorant.
Easy.
Okay. So, Amanda, was this a good move by President Trump to bring Kanye?
Yes, it was. It was a great move by President Trump because it allowed the everyday person to see that even people who have people against them still have a voice and can be heard. And it also showed that the president has an interest in helping Black America. 15 seconds.
So, Kanye?
Kanye into the Oval Office.
100%. I mean, I want to inject that meeting into my veins. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, he just exposed so much of the left. I mean, we literally saw a CNN panel call him a house N-word, or I mean, it was just outrageous. They're calling him a traitor to his race. You see the groupthink of the left, and you see that you cannot, if you don't toe that line, you're going to be called mentally ill, for instance, which is insane. I don't remember the media calling Kanye West when he said George W. Bush doesn't care about Black people. I don't remember them calling him, a traitor to his race or mentally ill then. So this exposes the left so much.
And Emily, I know that you also are a Kanye West fan, so your words here are valuable.
Okay, good. I think Kanye West was the right move for President Trump. Honestly, I think we had 8 years where Obama brought in every Hollywood celebrity under the sun. They spoke to people.
Where they indoctrinated them and told them to vote Democrat. Where they told them it was important to support the Democratic Party. Where Barack Obama told them that if they didn't, it would be against him. He allowed them in there. They were all happy. And they signed their fucking souls away.
They spoke to people who don't particularly get involved in politics. And Kanye said it himself. It wasn't that he was on the outside. It was that he was on the outside of what everyone else was thinking. And hey, if Kanye can get it done, then more power to it.
Well, this is the question. So, Sean, neither you nor I know anything about Kanye West. Is my impression. But with that said, there's been a lot of talk about Republicans making significant gains in the Black community. Do you see any of that reflected in the polling?
Not significant gains, but if you look at younger African Americans, they're not as clearly Democratic as the older generation. I mean, personally, I just look at the Kanye thing, and I think it's proof we live on the weirdest possible timeline. But look, if the Republicans are going to do outreach, if they're going to make improvements in the African American community, this is the type of thing that they need. They need.
And I'm gonna stop right there. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the show. Here, this light is killing me. Yeah. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I definitely want to thank my brother Brandon Tatum for being on the show. I want to tell you, stay safe, stay healthy, stay American, and fuck the other side, bitch. We don't care.